again, the food processor is going to do the job for us. All right. Oops. There's some for the dog. If you didn't know, he's already here eating them. He heard them fall and he ran. So, a little lucky bit for him. The other dog will get the one that I saved for them. Okay. Love the live TV or live Zoom. And then I have a red onion. I'm going to start with half a red onion. This one's a quarter of the red onion. And tomatoes are very distinctive. Each tomato has their own little flavor. So this is a recipe where you're going to want to do your own taste testing to make sure you like it and do some adjustments to it if it's, not the right flavor for you. So I could always add a little more onion, and then I can add in my garlic. So earlier before we started, I minced up some garlic. You could actually just cut the garlic. I was thinking about that as I was mincing it, that probably because we're using the food processor, we could just chop it instead of mincing it because it's going through the food processor. But I have 2 cloves of garlic here, and you want to start first by mincing or chopping your garlic so that you get the full benefit of the enzymes from the garlic, those microbial properties. You want to let your cut garlic rest about 10 to 15 minutes before you use it, because this is where you get all your good properties. And so I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice here. I've got about the juice of 1 lemon here. I have a couple of tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to add. So that'll give it the acid. And then I always like to balance my acidity with a little bit of sweet. And again, we're going to play around with the acid after we blend everything up or process it. I'm going to add a touch of maple syrup. I start with a teaspoon, and then I can change that later if I want to add add. And then this is like a way to balance between the acid and then adding the sweet to balance it out. My herb, I have fresh basil here. I'm going to add in. I'm really going to the top on this one. So I got about a quarter cup of fresh basil. And you want that fresh stuff for gazpacho for sure. And then one of the things the Spanish would do is they would use their day-old or old stale bread to add to the gazpacho as a way to thicken it up, make it a little creamier, and make it a little more substantial. And I'm not, this particular cooking that I do is gluten-free, so I'm not going to do any bread, but you could add, if I were adding bread, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and a little pepper, but if I were adding bread, I would add like a day-old sourdough bread. That's what I would add. But the other option, if you don't want any gluten, you want to be gluten-free, is I'm going to add some cantellini or white kidney beans here. So I'm going to add those in. About a cup. You can add as much as you want. Now you can do your gazpacho without the bread or the kidney beans. It'll make it a little creamier and more substantial, but you could do without for sure, to your taste. And yeah, now let's blend this up. What I was going to say, the reason I like sourdough bread is that it is fermented bread, so it helps to break down some of the gluten. It's easier to digest than regular bread. So if you that would be a better option than just plain bread. All right, so let's do some pulsing here.